Hello and welcome to highlights of stage one of Vuelta A Burgos Feminas from Burgos to Pozza della Sal. The latest race in our Spanish block, Elisa Longoborghini and Lotte Kopecky, two of the big names here to fight it out for this year's Vuelta a Burgos. The stage ahead, 125 kilometers in length, 1,641 meters of elevation, 3 categorized climbs along the route, 1 intermediate sprint to come with 13 kilometers to go and a 2-kilometer climb up to the finish. But it is one of those Spanish days where it's the uncategorized climbs that really add to the elevation and really take their toll. The big question was, would it be a day for the breakaway? Would it be a day for the rouleurs? Or could Lorena Wiebes or Elisa Balsamo, two of our fastest finishers in the peloton, get themselves over the climb and fight it out for the victory? We did have an early breakaway group going clear. Morgan Coston in the red and blue of Roland with Edoya Eraso, the young Spanish rider from Laboral Cozio Fundación. Over the first climb of the day, Morgan Coston took maximum points in the Queen of the Mountains ahead of Eraso. She also took the second climb ahead of the young Spanish rider. That meant that she would pull on the Queen of the Mountains jersey at the end of the day, even if she didn't score at the end of the stage. They did have 5.5 minutes at one point, but the gap was tumbling, and on a fast descent, the gap to the peloton just disintegrated. They only had 4 seconds when they got to the foot of the descent, and it was a really select chasing group that had come together on the descent. The big question was, could they take it all the way to the finish? But there were some big name riders who had missed out on the chasing group, and as our breakaway was swept up, we had a group that was led by Aude Bianic, along with Elisa Longoborghini, Ceylin del Carmen, Alvarado. We also had Lotte Kopecky and Lorena Wiebes in the breakaway group, along with Franzi Koch, Paola Blasi, Barbara Grishki, who did a great job to launch the move up the road. Aude Bianic of Movistar coming back into racing after the birth of her son and from maternity leave, and straight back into the breakaways. 19 seconds was the gap, but some of the big names that had missed it were Juliette Labousse and Marlon Reusser, to name just a couple. They were driving on behind Elisa Balsamo of Little Trek, trying to get herself across to the move. The young French rider, Célia Gery, in her first pro stage race. The group swelled in numbers. It was just too big to keep working. Gery immediately launching her move up the road. The 19-year-old French rider would be joined by one of the signings of the season, you would say, for SD Worx Pro Time, the 27-year-old Swiss rider and mountain biker Steffi Häberlin. She showed us what she's made of in Etzulia on the opening day, leading out for Misha Bredevold. Could she stay clear and take her first pro win? It would also be the same for Gery. There were groups coming back all the time, and the timing could not have been better. Multiple teams had reinforcements that came through, swelled at the bunch in numbers, and it would be heartbreak for Häberlin and Gery just outside the Flamme Rouge. They were swept up with Longoborghini, Kopecky, Wiebes, Jackson, Wollaston, just some of our fast finishers up towards the front. As they started to line up for the final sprint, it was the world champion in the rainbow jersey, Lotte Kopecky, that came through, but Elisa Longoborghini launched a move round the outside, and with her threading her way through the bunch was Lorena Wiebes. Kopecky made the move. Clearly the tactic was Kopecky and Wiebes for the sprint, but the European champion came off the wheel of Longoborghini. It would come down to a straight fight between her and Elisa Balsamo. Wiebes had got the century of victories earlier on in the season. She takes the opening stage of Vuelta Burgos, makes it win number 101. Balsamo takes second, Kopecky takes third. We see her win so effortlessly on the flat. This showed just how much it takes out of Lorena Wiebes in the sprint, but we've seen her evolve as a rider over the last couple of seasons. It doesn't matter if it's on the flat or on a climb. the European champion, really can do it all. But Balsamo, a great sprint from the Italian from Little Trek. She takes second place, but the gap for Wiebes on the line, and she'll with it take the first leader's jersey. Our top 10 looks like this. Lorena Wiebes takes it ahead of Elisa Balsamo and Lotte Kopecky, with Longo Borghini, Scallion, Soike Koch, Chabet, Wallason, Reusser and Allerud our top 10. Another day, another podium. We are so used to it. Win number 101 for Lorena Wiebes. Our general classification looks like this. Lorena Wiebes takes a 4-second advantage over Elisa Balsamo into the second stage, with Lotte Kopecky sitting third at 6 seconds, Longo Borghini at 9. And will she manage to defend the jersey tomorrow? It should be another day for the sprinters. We have the bonus seconds along the way. We have 122 kilometers from Alba de Tuera to Roja. And along the way, we have an intermediate sprint to come with 15k to go, a climb with 7k to go. You're not going to want to miss it. Join us for more action tomorrow.